Hello everyone, welcome back to more 14 Minesweeper Variants. Yesterday we broke into the plus area and had some trouble, I think. I don't remember the details. I must have felt I needed a break because I didn't even get 3 of them. Oh, that's right, yes. These, I don't like these ones. Okay, so... Wall, we have this, and we also have no triples. Doesn't seem to interact very much with this, because, like, for example, this can't, these 3 can't be on for 2 different reasons. One, it would be a triple. The other, it would break this clue, so I'm not sure how useful that is. Some things we can say already. The 2 that this mine has, this clue produces, rather, at least one of them is seen by this clue, right? Normal Minesweeper, we could have this and no overlap. But here we can't because these are wall clues, not mine clues. So if this were a mine, this would be a mine, and then of course this stuff all wouldn't. Likewise, if this were a mine, these would all not be mines. So that's interesting. Okay, let's... It also, I guess, means we can't have it be the case that these 2 are both mines, because that would break the 2. Interesting. But I think we should be focusing on this box here, because there's a lot of clues being given about it, right? So, like, one thing we could say is, could this be a 2? That would be very restrictive, I think. If it were, we'd have no mines here, obviously. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it would be restrictive. And more subtly, this would also have to not be a mine. Because remember, at least one of the mines from this thing is sticking out in here. And that would complete this. So in fact, we can also say, like, this can't be a mine. Because if it were, there would be 2 like this. Okay. So we have either these 2, which is impossible because we wouldn't have room for 2 mines here. In fact, we can say now for certain it would have to be a mine here and here to satisfy this. And then also a mine, no. Yeah, here and here. Hang on, my music player is acting up. Let me just go play something else. Okay, I know you guys can't hear it. I listen to music when I'm recording games without sound. But I don't put it in the video for numerous reasons. So, like, this, I guess, is actually possible. I expected that when I put 2 mines here, I would find that was impossible. But it looks like it's not. Interesting. So the other thing I remember, this looks a lot like one of the puzzles we had introducing wall clues that I spent forever doing, like, a proof by exhaustion of all the ways these mines could be laid out. And I remember concluding that there were 3 mine groups exactly, I think. Is that true? Because, like, when we did this, we found there were 2 mine groups, right? If we, like, put a 2 here, then, like, that feels very difficult, doesn't it? But actually, that is impossible. No, it's not. There's room for mines. Yeah, okay. So, I don't know. We could have something like this, for example. But this would again be 3 mine groups. 3 walls, I guess. And finding out there are exactly 3 walls would be nice. Right? I don't remember. Like, I remember someone commented on the YouTube video. Oh, no. They commented in my Discord, actually, I think. That means I can go find it more. Let me just go look that up real quick. BRB. Okay, so I went back and I looked at the archives, and indeed, this is exactly the pair of clues that I had in that early wall, you know, the introduction to walls video. And someone, Crimson406, commented in the Discord and said, I think this can be more intuitively understood. Since you proved that there must be exactly 3 groups of mines, which apparently I did prove, I don't remember the details, all 3 of them must be visible to the left visible tile, which it was this one. And that can't happen if one of the mines is here, basically. So that makes sense, and that kind of caught my attention enough that I apparently remembered it for... When was that? That comment was published... Or they made that comment on the video 4 days ago. I don't remember when the video went up. I don't know when this video is going up even. But anyway, made enough of a mark on me to remember it later. So I guess what we're saying is that if I can remember why there's exactly 3 mine groups, then this can't be a mine. And I don't actually remember why, but I'm just going to take it on faith that was what I proved last time. There you go. See? Easy. Okay. I'm lost already. Like this? I don't know. Well, I guess if let's... The puzzle's completely symmetrical right now, isn't it? It has this reflexive symmetry. There's like rotational symmetry. I guess this is a kind of axial symmetry over this axis, right? I don't know if they have a different name for that in 2 dimensions, but reflective, who knows? Anyway, the point is, like, suppose we could somehow prove this were a mine, we would then be able to apply exactly the same logic to prove that this must be a mine. Because there's no way to tell those 2 squares apart without gaining more information. So that kind of suggests to me that we should focus on squares along this line, because those are where you can get something unique. Like, I don't know. That seems interesting. Actually, maybe it's the opposite. Oh! Is this a uniqueness problem, I wonder? Like, because if I proved that this were a mine, let's say, then by that argument that I just made, this would also have to be a mine. And that's impossible, because the 2 is broken. We would have no mine here, and then there wouldn't be a wall. Now, so that argument tells me that these 2 squares must both not be mines. But that's also impossible, so I must be wrong somehow. Right? No, it doesn't work in reverse. Because if I can prove... Well, I guess what it tells me is from this position, I can't prove that any of them is a mine, and I can't prove that any of them is not a mine. Because if I could prove that, then I would be proving an impossibility. It doesn't say they can't be mines, just that I can't prove they're mines with the information I have now. And likewise non-mines. And so the same thing applies here, right? I can't prove that this isn't a mine, because... No, that would be fine. But I can't prove it is a mine. That's definitely true, because then I could prove this were a mine. If I could prove this weren't a mine, then I could prove this isn't a mine as well, but that's fine, because there's still a way to, like, put a mine here and whatever. So, all of that points to this being an important square, right? Could I prove that this isn't a mine? That seems like it would be pretty important. Because ultimately, I think from this position, I need feedback about... I need a new clue. I'm not going to just, like, prove that this is a mine, and then that unlocks my brain, and I can go find out more stuff. Because that wouldn't give us any new information, and we've shown that without new information, I can't prove anything about this square or this square, for example. And I suspect a lot of that will be true over here as well. So what I'd like to do is prove that this isn't a mine, which I could do by starting here and assuming it is a mine. So that would make these all non-mines. And this, like, it might go up here, in which case, I don't know. Well, that would be accomplishing, this would be the 2 for this one, right? It has to be. So this can only see one other spot of a mine. If this goes up, then we kind of have to put a mine... one of the mines that this sees has to be seen by here as well. Whoops. Likewise, if we went down, we would say one of the mines that this thing sees has to ripple up. Doesn't that mean that if this is a mine, then this is not a mine? I think it does. But this doesn't seem like a fruitful... It doesn't look like I'm actually getting any squares proved this way, right? We either get, like, this and then these two, or we get... Well, I guess and then we get, like, 2 of these, not really sure which. Or we get, like, this one, and then these 2, and then 2 of these, not sure which. So I'm not sure that's so useful. So what if we assume that this isn't a mine? That's kind of interesting, because that means this is a mine. So these 2 squares are the opposite of each other. Either this is a mine and this isn't, or this isn't a mine and this is. So each of these clues sees one of these 2 squares and not the other being a mine. That's a little interesting. Let's say arbitrarily that this continued south instead of north. Then we'd have no mine here, and these would have to be mines. That finishes all this, and we get mines like so, right? That seems possible. And of course the 2 has to finish going this way. Right? Oh no, that's not possible. Hang on. Or, well... Yeah, that's not possible. Because there's no space for a 1 and a 2 up here. So I think we've proven, actually, that this has to be a mine. Because by assuming it was a non-mine, I got to a contradiction. Okay, well that... Oh, of course. I said, I'll try to prove this isn't a mine because I need a clue. Fine. But proving it's a mine also gets me a clue, because now this 2... is opened up. A 1, and a 2 has to be like this. Oh, you're right! You're right! Okay. I was wrong. We need either a 1 here and 2 here, or a 1 here and 2 here. So we don't actually know anything about any specific square. Well, yes we do. We know the edges of this area have to be a mine. We just don't know which one extends further. Now this is done, so we can do all that. A 1, a 1 and a 2, huh? Well, doesn't that have to completely cover its space? 1, 1, 2? Or, 1, or this could be a 2, 1, 1. Either way, this is a mine, which finishes that area. Now, the edges of this thing's territory have to both be mines. Yes, correct. Finishes this, go there. I forgot all about the triple rule this whole time. Oh my gosh. Good thing I didn't need it. Whew. Okay, what's now? What's up now? The clue indicates the difference in the number of mines between colored and uncolored. Okay. And I hate this O rule. I'm so bad at it. All mines are orthogonally connected to the outside, and non-mines are all orthogonally connected. So, I mean, we can... This area has a parity of 1 in some direction, right? Which means this area must have a parity of 2 in order for the 3 to get all the way up to 3 parity. Well, the only way to do that is if both of the black cells are mines and the gray one isn't. And now we know this area needs to have a black parity, so we need more blacks than grays by 1. Mines are connected to the outside. So this looks kind of interesting. Has a lot of work to do to get outside. Okay, I guess something of interest. These... Oh, I hate blue. I don't know, give me red, whatever. These cells have a parity of 0. So there's either 1 silver mine and 1 black one, or no mines at all. We cannot have 2 gray mines in this area. Can we? Oh, we can. There could be 4 gray mines and no blacks, raising the parity of this area to 2 in the other direction. I was thinking that would be useful because I would have proven that these 2 can't both be mines, which would affect what's going on over here. Although I guess I already know they can't both be mines. Ah. Okay. This area... This area has a parity of 1 black, right? Which means there can't be more gray mines than black mines. So these 2 definitely can't both be mines. Which means that this 2 has to have... It can't have a parity of 4 gray mines to 0 black. It actually has to have an even parity of 0. So there's either 1 gray and 1 black, or no grays and no blacks. Okay. So... I'm not sure what that really tells me. we can look at ways that the... Oh. This 1. It has a parity of 1, which in a normal just parity puzzle would mean that one possibility is that this whole area is all mines, right? That's 1 more gray than black. That's impossible here because the 1 has to be connected to all the other non-mines. So it still could have either a black and no gray or a gray and no black, but it can't have both grays and a black. Could ask for a clue. I'd still rather not, of course. Wait a minute. No, that's not true. I was going to say, didn't we prove that there's not any mines in these 2 grays? And we didn't. We just proved that if there is one, there has to be a mine over here as well. I guess we could ask, could any of these 2 grays be a mine? And they could. Yeah, no problem. One of them could be, if this were also a mine. That would somewhat constrain the ability of these 3 clues to get out of here and connect to the rest of the world. But it doesn't seem impossible. Okay, so get this stuff out of here. I think we're supposed to somehow be focusing on connection here, on the outside rule. And asking maybe, could this be a mine? Or maybe we're supposed to ask, how can this get out? One of those 2. Because like this being a mine is sort of restrictive for this stuff all connecting up, right? It's not necessarily super restrictive. Actually, you know what's even more restrictive is let's make this a mine. Because, oh my gosh, that does a lot. I guess this does maybe even more. Because remember, this area has to be black positive, right? Oh yeah, this is impossible. This can't be a mine. We're about to see why. So right now this 1, well, this 3 now has a parity of only 1, right? So it needs these to both be mines. And this to not be, which, fine, we can do that, no problem. But what about this 2 now? It needs to get its parity of 2 back, because this reduced it by 1. So there's a mine here. And now, these 3 clues are disconnected from this 1 clue. So that's impossible. This can't be a mine. Now, I don't think we can say quite as much about this being a mine. We would get that these are our mines still. And this has to be a mine to catch up on parity. And these are non-mines. And I guess to connect everything up, this is all non-mines? I'm not sure how important that is. Oh! That breaks the connection rule again. This mine now can't get out. Nice. So this is also not a mine. It's looking a little difficult for this mine to get out. That's not a proof, of course. Like, I don't think it can get out this way, can it? No. Because if it tried, this would be balanced, that would be fine. But to balance this, we'd need this mine, and now the 1 is trapped, right? So this mine can't escape in this direction. Could it escape over here? Yeah, no problem. This would have to be a mine as well to avoid the 2 getting broken. Oh, wait a minute. This is also impossible. Because that means this is not a mine, and now it can't get out. Ah, okay. So, I guess we should be focusing on, like, maybe this square? Because suppose this were a mine. Wouldn't we have some trouble? I think we would. Because, well, yeah. Either this or this would have to be a non-mine. We don't know which, but one of them is a, you know, we're either in yellow world where the top one isn't a mine, or in blue world where the bottom one isn't a mine. And furthermore, we're in blue world because this square can't really get out anymore, right? If it tries, it blocks this off. No, because this would then be joining up here, right? That's okay. But in order for this to get all the way around to one of the other non-clues, one of the non-mine clues, we have to isolate this, right? And the same thing is going to happen if we say, okay, this is a mine, but this one is too, because it's just too complicated for it to be a non-mine. Okay, fine, but now we have a similar problem with even this being a non-mine. It has to get around to here somehow, and that cuts this off. So this cell can't be a mine. Right. Which means this 2 has to have no more mines. Thank goodness. Now this 0 means there's a gray and not a black, so that's finished. And now this mine getting out is really hard, right? This has to connect up to all of this stuff, right? Or to here anyway. Well, no, because it's connected. It could connect through here. So, this, nope, I was going to say this can't be black, because then the parity would be too high. But of course we could just put a gray one in, and that would take care of it. So we either have a black and a gray, or both grays in this area. I don't think that's too important to know. Well, okay, this mine has to get out, right? So it must go at least there. And now we know that this area has a parity of 1 in some direction, which means this mine, this clue rather, can't touch that square because that would break the parity. So that's not a mine. If this has a parity of 1, then either it's gray, and that gives this 2, the 0 is overloaded. It has to use this mine to negate, or this square to decrease its parity by 2. Or the parity here is black, in which case the 0 is happy, and this has to be not a mine. And that's the only actual possibility. So this has, there you go. These mines have to get out. 3 mines left. Oh, this one is finished. I'm done. These are all mines. I did it. No clues. Or no hints, I guess is the right word. I'm not going to 6x6 on this. Are you crazy? Ah! There's more stuff over here. What is this? Plus prime? Gallery 5x5? Are these like handmade levels that they thought were particularly cool or what? I don't know. So let's try this thing of where clues have different rules. Oh, okay. This is a 4 with an X. Okay, cross rules. Oh my god. Each mine in the colored cell counts as 2. Okay, so there's a mine here. And we know exactly 2 of these gray cells. That does something for this 4, right? I'm sorry, I said gray. They're black, these 2 cells. This 4, therefore, sees... Well, there's exactly 1 here. Wait, is that true? No, don't lie. This 4 sees exactly 2 other mines, which could be this one and then one of these. Or it could be both of these. So this 4 doesn't necessarily see exactly 2 here. It sees at least 1 here. So let's just mark that like so. Which means... what? There's at most 2 of these 2 squares? I could have told you that before I looked at any clues. There's always at most n of n squares. You can't have more than n. Well, okay, I guess with multiple clues you sort of can, but not really. Okay, and there isn't stuff here like triple, because that's not a clue type. It's an overall constraint. We won't be seeing outside, for example. That's sort of nice. I mean, I suppose we could ask, what if this were a mine? It's sort of restraining, right? This can't be mine because of the wall clue. And... well, maybe there's something similar to start with. Simpler, rather, to start with, which is this 4, right? How many mines does it see in these 2 squares, right? It only sees 5 squares to begin with, and 4 of them are mines. So there's only 1 square it can see that isn't a mine, which means that at least one of these 2 must be a mine. And because of the 1-2 nature of this thing, we can say it just doesn't have any more mines to put here. So that's safe. This is a vanilla 1 mine rule, huh? Okay. Or 1 mine clue. This, I think, also can't be... nope, that's not true. It could be. If this were a mine, we still need 1 of these. So this has to extend out all the way to here. And then we would have, like, nothing, nothing, nothing. Ah, that is broken, isn't it? Because this 4 would be unhappy. So this can't be a mine. What are you all about? Eyesight. Oh, gosh, I forgot about those. Okay. Isn't this a mine? Because this 4 sees at least 2 mines in this area, right? And that sees this thing's full... Here, let's put a 2 in, at least 2. That fills this thing's full complement of mines. So there can't be 3 in this area. There has to be just 2, which means the last mine goes here. And further, this isn't a mine. Okay, cool. This 2, what is it, P? Number of... Oh, it even, look at that, up in the top. It mouses over the kind of clue I'm pointing at. Or it explains the clue I'm hovering. The clue indicates the number of consecutive groups of mines in the neighboring 8 cells. Oh, right. I sort of remember that. It's kind of like wall, but the opposite, kind of. Okay. So that means one of these 2 is a mine in order to make a second group. There's nowhere else to put a second group, which means these are all safe from the vanilla square here. What is an L? This is a 1 clue, huh? Okay, I can't do anything with that right now. 5E. So we can't be allowed to see this 4 or we'd see 6 squares. So this is a mine. Four with multiples. Okay, we finished that. So we know exactly one of these 2, but I'm not sure how useful that is. Wait a minute. I see. I get the joke. This 0, which is actually a 1, could the mine be here? No, it could not. Because then these would both be open and this 5 would see too much. So this is not a mine. 0 crosses. Okay, well that's easy enough to handle. Now this 2 doesn't tell us anything about this square, right? We can never get information about this, so we'll get it by total mines. Which we're almost there already, right? There's only 6 mines left out of 7. There's 7 squares to put 6 mines in. And we know only one of these 2. Oh, hang on, this 5 is done. There we go. I did it! I got my perfect on the hash marks. I think that's sort of... I don't know. It's interesting. It's a bit of a mess. Like, there's so much happening all the time. I kind of liked the pluses, even though they're hard. Because there's a theme of the puzzle kinds going through the whole... Or the clue kinds going through the whole puzzle, or the constraints. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.